So the final stage of discovery, which is the transformation stage, is going to be covered by us here. So first of all, we need to know what is transformation. And when we go to the rubric, or the Board of Studies rubric, which describes what is discovery, it states that the impact of these discoveries can be far-reaching and transformative for an individual. So when we think about what is the impact of a discovery on these individuals, some of the aspects that from the rubric that we do come up is that it is sudden or unexpected, meaning that these discoveries that these individuals encounter during their journey could be is sudden or unexpected to them, and this is stated by Ernesto Che Guevara by himself at the start in stating, "The journey is a virtual space that finishes when it finishes, and there are as many means as there are different ways of finishing," indicating that he himself, on going in this journey through Latin America, is not expecting the way he was initially starting to finish, and we see this as a transformation process throughout the whole of the book, and this leads him to new ideas, futures about himself and what he wants to do after this journey. And it provides him with a renewed perception of himself, and which transforms him and allows him to build on new values, and which shapes his character and determines what he wants to do in future again.
So hailing from a middle-class family as a 23-year-old medical student, Che undertook a 9-month journey across 5,000 miles through Latin America. He was motivated with an ambition to know the continent not just from books, but from his own personal experiences. So through the journey transformed Guevara as he got to witness exploitation, persecutions, and ostracizing the downtrodden. His ideology was based on the truth he had seen and not what he's read or what he's heard from others. So Che has realized that education leads to power and knowledge. However, on his journey through Latin America, he met many people that were deprived from education, which found them stuck with no power and had them continue living in poverty. So I believe that it was through this experience and discovery that led Ernesto to realize that the world he lives in, as well, and triggers his transformation to become a man who vows to be with the people. This mindset sparks his communist ideals and transforms him into the Marxist he was today.
Yeah, so as you can see throughout the book, he doesn't necessarily have just that one transformational experience. It's throughout the book. You constantly see patterns of like poverty or like him meeting people with a lack of education. It's those constant transformations which slowly got him to slowly transformed him to his beliefs. So you can see that especially as the memoir develops. How his ideas start to form.
And continuing off that, Che believed that education shouldn't have been a privilege and should just be a natural right for the children. And that's backed up by the quote, "The walls of the education system must come down. Education should not be a privilege, so the children of those who have money can study." So I believe that this is a pivotal reason that led to Che's transformation. And there's another quote, "He spoke to us of the splendid past and the present misery, of the urgent need to educate the Indians as a first step towards total rehabilitation." So this also shows that the natives were deprived of an education that was rightfully theirs, and this led to the throughout the novel, as Antonio said, his transformation.
So the difference between Marxism and communism is that communism is a real political system, whereas Marxism is a political theory which many communist systems are built upon. Che Guevara was known for being an advocate for Marxism, and since Marxism is in stark contrast to capitalism, he was against the idea of a capitalist living, as made evident by the quote. "We learned perfectly that the life of a single human being is worth millions of times more than all the property of the richest man on earth." He showcased how he was against the idea of a capitalist lifestyle, and how he believed everyone should be treated as equals, which is why he lends himself to a more communist ideal and belief. Communism is the notion that all property is owned by the community and each person contributes and receives according to their ability and needs in order to create universal social welfare. It is supposed to limit widespread poverty, however, it does not necessarily promote a high standard of living. Furthermore, communist ideologies advocate universal education with a focus on developing the proletariat with knowledge and historical understanding, which is why Che heavily believed in it, as he believed everyone should have equal standing in society and they should all be treated equally. Furthermore, during his travels, he discovered an alarmingly high level of poverty that swept the Latin Americas, which opened his eyes to the inadequacies of a system where people thrive on their own fortunes, whilst leaving others in their wake. This encouraged Che to develop his Marxist ideologies that focus on the idea that the proletariat should not be undermined and labelled as inferiors.
So I'm going to say to you that by the last chapter of the Motorcycle Diary, Che was a Marxist but not a communist. And you might say, what's the difference? Well, as we've stated before, Marxism isn't a political ideology, it's not a political crusade they go by. He didn't have a government to support it by. He simply saw the faults of the capitalist system. So what we see in our own context, if we look at it, we know that Marxism was simply the start. It was the cause of all the communist movements, Soviet Union, all that, based off Karl Marx's theories. So we see that the transformation was a gradual process. They didn't even finish the transformation. He got halfway there, essentially. He was going to go on further to start the Cuban Revolution and fight in the Congo and then go to North Korea. He was going to do heaps after that. The transformation was a process that goes on afterwards. The transformation goes throughout the entire text. Now when we look at the context of the actual book, the world was undergoing what was known as the International Revolution, if I recall, which was the movement of all these countries towards communism, which was a powerful movement and was scary, which is why we saw the communists in prison. Now people were scared of this international revolution, which Che, unwillingly became a part of when he made Cuba turn communist. Anyway, we look at that and we see that Che, he mirrored the effect of the Marxist uprising. He started off, there was a society that was rich. He was in the upper class society. And then he went towards and he saw the poverty, he saw the disgust, the people living with low health care and low education, that's the stuff that revolutions are made upon. And we see that spurring that happens, and that builds up in Che as well. It's parallel throughout the whole journey until the very end, in the last chapter. He starts ranting to us, essentially. He starts going on about how, he's going to change it, he's going to stop the cleave between humanity. That to me doesn't sound like an ending to a book, that sounds like a continued journey, that sounds like the middle of a transformation to me.
Yeah, so Che's continual impact upon society can be felt throughout today, with his face becoming a legacy of what it means to revolutionize, to move forward. And throughout the world, he's known as a revolutionary leader, and he's embedded inside this ideology. Going forward, his face is recognized around the world. And also he changed the landscape, he changed the social construct of many countries, including Cuba, which is he's renowned for, and other countries, so forth. His genuine concern for these people are what allowed him for his impact to be long-term, and how he's always felt with these people. Yep. And there's a quote here from the documentary that we did, stating that if Che Guevara was here today, they will still be having huge transformation, stating that even, no matter where he is, he will always be there.
Embedded within the city of Cuzco was American capitalism, which saw its people living a low quality of life. The ancient city of Cuzco transformed Guevara as seen following his exposure to the American capitalism within the city. He was outraged and felt it was his duty to fight for the freedom and equality of the people. This is Cuzco, inviting you to become a warrior and to defend. This quote portrays the communist mindset of Che to defend and fight for the people of Cuzco and empower them. Thus, it can be seen that Che's time in Cuzco particularly contributed to his transformed mindset. Furthermore, during his time in Cuzco, Che wrote a letter to his mother, whereby he states, "Along the way, I had the opportunity to pass through the dominions of the United Fruit, convincing me once again of just how terrible these capitalist octopuses were. This further emphasizes Guevara's transformation within Cuzco, triggered by the capitalist manner in which Cuzco was being operated."
Alright, so here's some evidence from the book about transformation. So he states, "All this wandering around our America has changed me more than I thought." So that's a little representation of his transformation in plain words. And then he states, "We learned perfectly that the life of a single human being is worth millions of times more than all the property which they on earth." So this is obviously a representation of his Marxist ideals, as Joey stated before, the belief that human life is above all. And then I knew that when the great building spirit cleaves humanity into two antagonist halves, I will be with the people. So he, when he's experiencing all the poverty, his perceptions are renewed, and basically precursor to his future vocation, so his Marxism. And then critical commentary by Publishers Weekly states the candid journal, part self-discovery, part fieldwork, glimmers with pointers of the future revolutionary. So glimmers with pointers basically gives us deep and detailed insight into his future vocations and his future, the revolution that he leads.
Yeah, so you could pretty much see it throughout the book, as I said before, especially with the leper colony, and you see that transformation when he says, we never wore overalls or gloves, we shook their hands as we would shake anyone's. We sat with them, talking about all sorts of things, and we played football with them, and treating them as normal human beings instead of animals that they're used to. So you can just kind of see that shift, how he transformed into that person that would see the marginalised in society and just completely disregard them and see them as normal human beings.
So furthermore, as Che Guevara experienced Latin America, appreciating its landscape, he starts not only developing ideologies about its society, but also attitudes and beliefs that centers around the issues facing him. This self-shift encompasses through the compassion and empathy he feels, feeling what they feel rather than just feeling for them. It is at times like this when a doctor is conscious about his complete powerlessness. Due to this helplessness, Guevara feels there is a want for change and need for difference. So, as he highlights in A Change to Prevent the Injustice of the System, this can be seen in linking to his future as becoming a revolutionary. And this thought symbolizes the manifestation of his transformation of his beliefs and attitudes through discovery.
Thing.